everyone, welcome back to Rad Rascal, and in today's video I'll be reviewing the Motorola T5720 Talkabout Walkie Talkies. To start off with the review, we're first going to talk about the price of the walkie-talkie itself, and it comes at a price of 10,000 rupees or 134 US dollars. Now I know that it's expensive to buy one, but if you're someone who travels to remote places or who lives in a large house and need constant communication with the other person, then it's better to invest in buying one instead of making constant phone calls and paying money for each of those phone calls. So if you are someone in such conditions, then this is probably something that you really want to invest on. However, the walkie-talkie is available only on online stores such as Amazon and Flipkart. I've also posted the links in the video description below. Before we continue with the video, if you like such content, hit the subscribe button below and like the video. Also feel free to comment down below if you have any queries on such videos. The main body itself of the walkie-talkie is made of high quality plastic and it requires 3 AA batteries to run. I tried using some cheap AA batteries, but after a few hours I noticed that the battery level started decreasing since the device uses a lot of battery power, therefore affecting the range of the walkie-talkie itself. You also have the option of using AA rechargeable batteries. That is a good option, but if you're someone who keeps traveling all the time, you may not have the facility to recharge those batteries all the time. So I suggest you carry some really high powered AA batteries, disposable ones, and carry some spares with you like Duracell. I use Duracell for this. It does not affect the range of the walkie-talkie itself, and it does stay for long hours. It is a pretty high performing device with a range of about 4 kilometers without any obstructions, but if you're in a city it goes up to 2 kilometers, and if you're in an urban area it's probably a little lesser than that, but it serves the purpose. The overall size of the walkie-talkie is pretty compact. It's about 6.5 inches tall from the antenna to the bottom of the walkie-talkie and about 2.5 inches wide from this end to the other end, which is pretty compact for a walkie-talkie. If you have large hands or small hands, it makes it extremely comfortable, unlike other walkie-talkies that I've seen that look more or less like a brick in your hand, which makes it pretty uncomfortable to hold after a long time. While buying the product itself, you also have the option of buying a pack with 10 with included earphones. And speaking of earphones, I really like the fact that designers even installed a earphone port. And the really cool thing about this is you don't have to disturb the people around you by just wearing earphones. But the only problem is the port here is a 1.5mm port, which means that most of our headphones or earphones today are incompatible with this. So what I did was I picked up one of my old headphones with a 1.5mm jack and I plugged it in, but I realized that the press to talk option, the button on the side, stops working. So the sensor activates and it starts picking up unwanted noises all around you and transmits it to the other person. Therefore the disturbance is traveled from you to the other person too. So that's it's a pretty big problem, but when you're buying the pack of 10 with included earphones, I think it's just going to muffle that noise and the press to talk button is still going to work. Now, despite using the walkie-talkie for about 2 years now, having great experience with it, I really did notice that the PTT button or the press to talk button does tend to get loose sometimes. So you really need to hold it hard and speak so that the other person on the other side can hear what you're saying clearly. A pack of 10 walkie-talkies is extremely useful if you are a trekking gang, if you're a group of people or enthusiasts or cyclists or any group of people going on adventures, then the pack of 10 of walkie-talkies would really help you all communicate for free if you are close in a gang. In fact, if you're spreading out, if you're going for skiing, you're playing some sport, you're going out trekking, whatever it is, it just makes it much easier for y'all to communicate. And as I said, it also includes the headphones, so that also makes it much more easier for y'all to communicate. Some of the features that I really like is a digital display. That caught my attention since I've hardly seen any walkie-talkies with a digital display, and what this does is it makes it much easier for you to know which channel you're on, what frequency you're on, and whom you're talking to also. And below the display you also have a good set of buttons that tell you exactly what you're going to use. And this is again something that I don't see on walkie-talkies. It's in fact a button where you can change the channel. So you have a menu button, you have a button to call the other person if they're on the same frequency, you have a plus and minus button to change your frequencies. Unlike on other walkie-talkies, you have those old school knobs where you need to do it, and over a period of time they just break. These buttons and the display caught my attention since I've hardly seen them on any other walkie-talkie. Now the walkie-talkie comes with a clip that can be clipped to your clothing, whether it's your trouser, it's your belt or your t-shirt or your collar, whatever it is. Now overall the size of the clip is pretty small compared to other walkie-talkies. And the reason I'm comparing these walkie-talkies to other walkie-talkies is because I love the design so much, because it's different from the others. So I'm going to tell you the really good things about this walkie-talkie that stand out from the others. So coming back to the clip, it's pretty small. It's compact, it's easy to fit back of the walkie-talkie, it's movable, which is something great, but I feel that this clip could have been much more stronger. I clipped it to my pant once while I was wearing my belt, and I started running, and apparently this thing fell down and it did get damaged, to be very honest. So I feel that they could have spent a little more time in making this clip much more stronger. Since it's made of plastic anyways, it has its own lifetime. As I mentioned, I've used this for 2 years, and for those 2 years it's perfect, but I still hope this could have been much more better designed, so its lifetime could have been increased. I also wish that the base of the walkie-talkie itself was much more flat, and the reason I'm saying this is because when I've seen other walkie-talkies, they just have a completely flat base, and that's one good thing I see in them, because that prevents them from falling off when they kept standing vertically like this. So in case I hit this by mistake and I knock it off, it's just going to fall off, and if it's in a more dangerous area and if I knock it off, it's just going to fall and it's going to get damaged. So I wish this could have been much more flat. It does have a flat base right now, but having a more flat base would prevent any more damage caused to it in case you knock it off by mistake. Overall, the function of the buttons and the walkie-talkie itself is excellent. As I mentioned, I've used this for more than 2 years now, and I haven't had a single problem with it except for the press to talk button. As I mentioned before, you really need to hold this button hard after it stops working. It does tend to get loose after some time. Of course, it's made of plastic and it has its own lifetime. So you really got to hold it hard so that you can transmit what you're saying to the other person on the other side. Apart from that, I also wished, as I mentioned, the base could be much more flat so that it would prevent it from falling off and getting more damaged. With this, we've come to the end of the review of the Motorola T5720 Walkie Talkie. If you have any questions related to this product or related to my channel or related to any of my videos, don't hesitate to put them down in the comments and I will reply to them as soon as possible. And if you like such content, subscribe to the channel and like the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.